Well, good evening. Talk about a job that'll make your hair go white. But what a pleasure it is to be here tonight. Colonel, thank you very much for hosting us. To the Commandant, to your wife, Trish, thank you for the lifetime of sacrifice and service that you've given the nation. And likewise, the family, like so many other families do as well. And the commitment you continue to give. What an opportunity to finish off a week. I'm here with my wife, Jen, who I can't thank enough every single day. Our 7 kids who are sometimes wonderful and sometimes not. But always young Americans who we hope someday will hold near and dear what I know this entire crowd holds near and dear, which is love of country and commitment to defending it. And so there's no better way to end a week than right here. It's been on our calendar for a long time. I didn't even know about this parade when we first landed here in Washington, and about every person I met, especially Marines, said, you got to do it, you got to see it. And so we put it on our calendar. We've been looking forward to it ever since. The Marine Corps in its 249th, soon to be 250th year, still sets a standard in a way that you should be incredibly proud of. Every Marine should be incredibly proud of, and I say that as a soldier. But now I'm allowed to be bipartisan in every way, which means I can acknowledge the obvious, which is when at other times and other people and other organizations wanted to blow a little bit with the wind in one direction or another, or wanted to change the standards for one reason or another, or wanted to go soft or move in a different direction for one reason or another, the Marine Corps stood strong. It never wavered. It didn't change. It stayed committed to its ethos, that warrior ethos. And that's why there's one institution that's never quite had a recruiting problem. It taps into the fighting spirit of the men and women of America who want to be challenged, who want to serve something greater than themselves, who want to do something difficult and tough and gritty, who want that K-bar in their teeth, standing a watch for the nation. And that has been the Marine Corps. And I'll tell you, I get a chance to look out and talk to the Joint Staff and the Joint Chiefs, and I always know when I come to the Commandant, I'm going to get clarity, I'm going to get a warrior ethos, I'm going to get a knife hand. As he should, right here. And so to me, tonight is a celebration of what has been, of what still is today, and what will be the future. Because I see some young families out here with kiddos. I brought my kids intentionally, because these are the types of things we need the next generation exposed to. What we celebrate, what we recognize, what we spend time, what we spend our time doing is a reflection of what we value. And in a society full of social media clickbait and celebrity worship, I want my kids, I want yours, I want our society looking up to these men and women in these Marine Corps uniforms. These Medal of Honor recipients, the Commandant, the commanders, the sergeants, the drill sergeants, the veterans. Because it was a parade in small town Nowhereville, Minnesota. Wanamingo, Minnesota, population 296. Small farm town where I used to go with my parents every Memorial Day, every 4th of July, and you would watch the parade, and it was like blink and you miss it. It's like the one sheriff, the one fire truck, the high school band, and the group of vets. And you had the World War II vets, and then you had the Korean vets, and you had the Vietnam vets, and then you had the Gulf War vets when I was a kid who were still fitting into their uniforms. But the entire town rose to their feet for these men and women who had done something exceptional. And, I'm sure they weren't marching they're not going to be high speed like we're going to see tonight, but they were proud, and the town was proud of what they'd done. And if it was Memorial Day, we marched all the way down Main Street, that wide Main Street, down to Memorial Park, because the parade was not about the vets marching, it was about those in town who'd given everything. And that perspective as a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old and a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old, I can't tell you there was one moment, but I'll tell you it was the aggregation of those moments, of those memories of watching that town celebrate, where a light bulb suddenly went off and said, wow, those men did something special. They did something exceptional. And I hope someday I can play my small part. Maybe I can do that. maybe I can stand up for my country. Maybe it'll be my turn someday. And our country needs to do more of those things where we elevate those people and say, that's a model citizen. That's what it means to serve. That's what's special and important to us. So this is a microcosm of that, but thank you for doing it. And what a privilege it is to be here with my family. I hope we can help showcase things like this even more often, showcase the warrior ethos to the world. And that's our mission: revive the warrior ethos, rebuild our military, and reestablish deterrence. The eyes of the Marines that I see in the Indo-Pacific are the eyes of deterrence. Just as much as those beautiful B-2s that flew all the way from Missouri are the sign of deterrence to the rest of the world. It is on your shoulders that we stand, and it is to you that I am committed. So much of our Pentagon staff here are committed each and every day to simply have your back. That's all I ever wanted when I was a young leader. I wanted leaders that gave me a clear mission, the resources to do it, the training to do it, so we were ready, and then had our back when we had to make difficult decisions at difficult places that politicians in air-conditioned offices will never understand. That's our pledge to you. That's what President Trump always wants me to communicate to you, and that's what we will follow through on. So thank you to the United States Marine Corps for holding the line, for holding the standard in this country, and for still doing it today, Commandant. So we appreciate you, we salute you, and we look forward to one hell of a parade. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join in welcoming our host for this evening, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric M. Smith, accompanied by his wife, Trish. And now, please join us in welcoming our guest of honor for this evening, the Secretary of Defense, the Honorable Pete Hegseth, accompanied by his wife, Jennifer, and children, Gunnar, Boom, Rex, Kenzie, Gwendolyn, Jackson, and Luke. Good evening and welcome to the oldest post of the Corps, Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C., celebrating over 6 decades of performing evening parades here in our nation's capital. The ceremony you are about to witness was first conducted at the barracks on July 5, 1957. While the parade is standard for Marine units throughout the world, some elements have been modified to showcase the unique abilities of our marching and musical units. The massed formation of troops on one long line at close interval made possible the massing of firepower from muzzle-loaded muskets of the past. The adjutant forms the line of battle, and in those early days that line consisted of 2 or 3 ranks, much like the parade formation you will see this evening. Tonight, we celebrate the pride, professionalism, and esprit de corps that are hallmarks of this barracks and the Marines who have distinguished these hallowed grounds for over 2 centuries. They represent all Marines throughout the world who embody our Corps' values of honor, courage, and commitment. ceremony with a performance by the President's own United States Marine Band. The band traces its roots back to July 11, 1798, when an act of Congress authorized the Marine Corps to employ a drum major, a fife major, and 32 fifers and drummers. Today, the Marine Band has more than 150 members who proudly carry out its mission of providing music for the President of the United States and the Commandant of the Marine Corps. The band will open with a march by John Philip Sousa entitled Hands Across the Sea. The most famous director of the Marine Band was legendary bandleader and the March King, John Philip Sousa, who led the band from 1880 to 1892. Of all his marches, one so embodied our American spirit that in 1987 an act of Congress proclaimed it the National March of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, celebrating more than 227 years of serving as the guardian of American musical tradition, the Marine Band will perform Sousa's most famous march, The Stars and Stripes Forever. Marine Barracks Washington, D.C. was established on March 31st, 1801. This site was chosen for the new Marine garrison due to its proximity to the Washington Navy Yard and the newly finished Capitol by President Thomas Jefferson and our second Commandant, Lieutenant Colonel William Ward Burroughs. It is the oldest active post of the United States Marine Corps. Just beyond the north end of the parade deck stands the historic Home of the Commandants. It has been the residence of every Marine Commandant since its completion in 1806. The present occupants are the 39th Commandant and his lady, General and Mrs. Eric M. Smith. During our nation's bicentennial in 1976, the barracks and the Commandant's house together were designated a National Historic Landmark. The flag flying over the barracks this evening is a replica of the national ensign, displaying 15 stars and 15 stripes that would have flown here when the barracks was founded in 1801. It is the same version of the flag that flew over Fort McHenry during the War of 1812, inspiring Francis Scott Key's lyrics of our national anthem, earning this flag the iconic name, the Star-Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to introduce the official mascot of Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C., Corporal Chesty the 16th. A pedigree English bulldog, Corporal Chesty the 16th enlisted in the Marine Corps on 14 March 2022 and completed recruit training on 25 March 2022. The first barracks mascot was named in honor of the most decorated Marine in history, Lieutenant General Louis B. Chesty Puller, a name that has been inherited by every mascot of the oldest post of the Corps. rise for the presentation of the colors. The Marine Corps color guard before you is unique. Flanked by two Marine riflemen, our national flag is carried by the 41st Color Sergeant of the Marine Corps, while the Marine to his left carries the official battle color of the Marine Corps. The 55 streamers and silver bands displayed with the battle color commemorate the military campaigns in which Marines have participated. They span the entire history of our nation, from the Revolutionary War to the combat operations in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. Decorated with palms, oak leaf clusters, and stars, they represent more than 400 awards and campaigns of the United States Marines. It is the privilege of Marine Barracks Washington, D.C. to be entrusted with the custody of this battle color. Marines in the Spotlight represent over 7 decades of marching and rifle drill precision, a legacy of honor, commitment, and discipline that began during the Sunset Parades of 1948. The M1 rifles they carry with fixed bayonets are standard for all our marching platoons and weigh in excess of 10 1/2 pounds. The platoon executes its drill sequence without verbal cadence or commands. Marine Barracks Washington, D.C. proudly presents the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon. Marine Barracks Washington, D.C. is proud to present the Commandant's Own United States Marine Drum and Bugle Corps.
For 250 years, the United States Marine Corps has stood at the front lines of freedom. Marines from all walks of life take an uncommon oath to defend our nation against ever-changing threats. Each Marine brings a unique set of skills and talents, and together they form an unmatched force in readiness. The Marine Corps slogan, "First to Fight," has guided and inspired Marines for generations. Throughout history, they have remained steadfast in upholding the Corps' values of honor, courage, and commitment. Since 1775, Marines have put themselves in harm's way. Behind every eagle, globe, and anchor stands a Marine who knows that duty demands unwavering commitment, and above all, sacrifice. Marines returning home are met with celebrations, a hero's welcome of parades and family embraces. These moments are a reminder of what we fight for and what is only possible through a brotherhood that endures beyond the battlefield. Marines fight not for glory, but for the Marine beside them. From training grounds to battlefields, Marines stand together, forever faithful to the mission and the Corps. Their legacy is not just written in history books, it lives in the hearts of those who have worn the uniform, and in the spirit of honoring that storied legacy, we remain Semper Fidelis.
Once again, the Commandant's Own. It is a privilege for Marine Barracks Washington, D.C. to have as our guest of honor this evening, the Secretary of Defense, the Honorable Pete Hegseth. Joining our distinguished guest in the reviewing area are the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric M. Smith, and the Commanding Officer of Marine Barracks Washington, D.C., Colonel Carrie C. Batson. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for honors to Secretary Hegseth. be seated. As we prepare for pass in review, please direct your attention to the two marching companies assembled before you. These companies are comprised of infantry Marines who were hand-selected to serve at Marine Barracks, Washington. In addition to parade support, these companies conduct joint service honor ceremonies at the Pentagon, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and the White House. These Marines also have the solemn duty and distinct honor of performing dignified transfer ceremonies for fellow Marines who have made the ultimate sacrifice while serving our country, as well as laying our Marines and their families to rest in Arlington National Cemetery. When not performing ceremonial functions, the Marines of Companies A and B hone their infantry skills in preparation for future service in combat units of the Fleet Marine Forces. Ladies and gentlemen, when the colors approach you, we ask that you please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join us as we observe evening color.